What's up, Vetters? Patrick here with Vetted. I have some breaking news, at least for myself, right? Last night, after Skywatcher premiered their second episode in their series, right? I made a video about it. I'll put a link in the description. Please go check that out. But this video isn't about that. This video is about what happened after that video premiered and I made my video. You see, I got a phone call from Jake Barber. We spoke on the phone. And tentatively, it's not 100%, certain, but, they want to bring me out to one of their events over the summer, potentially, right? It's not set in stone, but, we're talking about it. So that would be really cool, right? Because, again, remember, I'm making this documentary about psionics, which is happening with Skywatcher or not, right? Because I have a lot of things planned for this. And that's my journey into studying this field of psionics, right? Telepathy, telekinesis, CE5 as they call it, right? Just mind-to-mind connection potentially with these entities or whatever, and any other little things that come along with it. So it was really great to talk to Jake on the phone. And he was very personable and nice about it and very cool and transparent and open and had a great sense of humor. I mean, he was great to talk to, if I'm being honest. And yeah, getting an invitation like that, again, it's not set in stone, it's tentative. So, but the idea is that I could go out there and witness some of this, maybe try some of it myself, hopefully. And that, potentially they'll let me film some of this for my documentary, right? Which would be great. So I just wanted to be transparent about that and sort of talk about it, right? Because this is something I want to do. I saw a conversation on Twitter earlier today about, people being able to go do this, right? Why don't you go out and try it for yourself, right? Well, not everyone can, okay? People have lives, they got kids, they got jobs, they got things going on. Not everyone can go out and do this stuff and go visit these places, and this stuff costs money too, right? So which I'm investing into this, right? But not everyone has that capability, and I'm quite aware of that. And honestly, I respect that, right? And look, my goal, with doing this would be just to be a mirror, right? And what do I mean by that? Well, that's what the documentary is about, right? It's just a reflection on what I experience. It's there's no agenda, right? I don't know how it's going to end. I don't know what's going to happen. It's all up in the air. I'm not revealing any whistleblowers, or I got to keep secrets, or, there's some whatever, thing about it. It's really just my experience, right? It's a reflection of my experience into studying this phenomenon. And of course, we're going to dive deep into it, right? But if I could go out to Skywatcher, that would be amazing, right? Because they're probably one of the leading teams in the world looking into this and doing this, right? So, of course, I would love to be, invited out and be able to experience this for myself and witness it for myself, and just be a complete mirror, right? No agenda, just let people make up their own minds. And to be fair, I mean, I've always said this, just because I experience something doesn't mean it's real. And if I don't experience something, doesn't mean it's not real, right? I'm not here to prove whether the psionic, capabilities are real or not. I'm just going to showcase my journey through it, and people can decide for themselves what to do with that, right? Maybe it'll motivate people to try it and look into it themselves, or maybe it'll motivate people not to. I don't know, right? But my goal is just to let people decide for themselves, right? And, I want to know if I'm going to be able to lay down like these guys and, kind of try this. I don't know what they're doing. I can't tell if they're just relaxing on some, fold out chairs and enjoying the sun, or they're trying to connect or contact here. To be honest, I'm not really entirely sure. But, they have the best seats in the house, if I'm being honest, right? That looks comfortable. Definitely getting out and getting my hands dirty, if you will, is what I want to do. And again, part of my journey. And so hopefully Skywatcher, that can work out, right? But again, it's tentative. There's a lot of moving parts, and I totally get it. Schedules, this, that, the other. I mean, even on my end, right? So I'm moving out of country soon. It's going to be hard for me also to schedule, but I'm definitely going to make it happen if, they can free up a spot and I could somehow show up, right? So, which again, at the same time, I also appreciate the transparency and the honesty and the openness to allow people like myself to come out and witness this and see it for myself, and even let them, that they would let me potentially film for my documentary there would be awesome, right? So, at the end of the day, I'm not here to judge one way or the other. Yes, these are big, bold claims and they require big, bold evidence, right? And asking questions and being a little skeptical, I just don't see anything wrong with that. And Jake's cool with that. And I respect that, right? He's not trying to change my mind or whatever. In fact, the reason I am a little skeptical, but also open-minded, is part of the reason they want to have me out, right? I'm not a cheerleader, but at the same time, I'm not a complete debunker and, aggressively against all of this, because I'm not. Because again, like I always say, one, I don't know anything, and I don't even know what I don't know, right? And I realize we don't understand everything in the universe, nor do we understand everything about our mind, how consciousness works. I mean, we don't even understand why we dream or sleep, right? There's so many basic things about our existence that is still unknown. So the idea that there could be more to know, well, of course, right? Now, are these the things to be known, right? These abilities that, allegedly could be dormant inside of us, or just right there, right? Just an open doorway that's just right next to us that somehow we just can't get to, right? But with the right protocols or training, you can sort of unlock this door, I don't know. I got to find out for myself, because I'm not going to find out just sitting here in my studio talking about that, right? That could only go so far. I can only comment on what other people say and other claims they made. But if I really want to find out, I've got to get out there, and I've got to test this myself, and I've got to see it for myself. And I respect people putting in the work and the time and the money and the funding. This stuff isn't free, y'all. And I hear a lot of stuff about grifting and this and that. And how do you think I run this channel? Right? It's not free. I can't do this for free, nor do I expect Skywatcher to do what they do for free. It costs money. In fact, I don't know this for certain, but I would probably assume it's costing them the money. They're not making money off of this, right? So maybe down the line there could be something, but yeah, the idea that this, that to me is just out of the equation. I just don't even think about that. I'm focused on the claims. I'm focused on the possibilities, and I want to see it for myself, right? Because if it is true, even a minuscule part of it, that's exciting, right? Science fiction could become science fact, and that's how a lot of things start off, right? Who would have ever thought, thousands of years ago that there was this thing called space and other planets and suns and, solar systems and everything else that's crazy that's out there in the universe. No one could have ever imagined, right, what that would be. And look at that eye-opening break in reality. Imagine being alive during that time and that new reality becomes a truth, right? I'm sure at first it was denied, because it sounds crazy. What do you mean there's this big open vastness? I mean, this is insane, because the scale of it, the size of it, right? So I get it. There are things that at first, glance, or when you first hear it, it sounds bonkers, right? And rightfully so. But at the same time, dismiss completely, well, that's teach their own. If someone wants to dismiss it and move on with their life, so be it. I got no problems. Again, I don't judge people on their character, right, based on what they think of UFOs, aliens, consciousness, if telekinesis or telepathy is real. I don't care, right? You can believe what you want. Just, are you respectful? That's it. Are you a good person to kind of hang out with and talk with? That's it. I respect everyone's opinions, but if we can't have an open, respectful dialogue, I mean, it just stops right there, right? But I respect people who think it's BS, and I respect people who don't think it's BS. I don't really care. Right? To each their own. It's your own journey, just like I'm taking my own journey. Right? So I'll look forward to this. Hopefully we can put something together for this summer, and I can go out, witness it, report back, and leave it at that. right? To be honest. And I look forward to more of these episodes coming out, right? Again, go check out my video that I made yesterday, and definitely check out the full episode that they made to see it all for yourself, right? That's kind of the best way. They revealed a lot of new UFO videos and class systems and things like that. And to be honest with you, after I premiered my video, they released their new website that they did, and we're going to take a look at that now. All right, so here's the new website, right? Skywatcher.ai. I'll put a link in the description, go check it out for yourself. It has right here, honestly, it's a beautiful website. I used to design websites back in the mid-2000s. I had a little design firm for a few years when I lived in Pennsylvania. I designed a lot of websites. I used to write HTML code by hand from scratch. I don't even know if they still use HTML. That was a long time ago. Websites have come a long way, and this is a beautiful website, y'all. So whoever did this, props, because it's sick. All right, so it says defining the future of aerial intelligence. That's interesting. Aerial intelligence. .ai, aerial intelligence. Very smart. Advanced air domain awareness and air defense operations. All right, they got the language down. It's nice. It's enticing. But I'm not going to be fooled by that. Okay, we're still at the end of the day going to have to see evidence, and there's nothing wrong with that. But hey, nothing wrong with packaging it nicely and having a nice presentation. What is wrong with that? So if we kind of just start scrolling down, we've got some different things here. And nobody told me to showcase this website. I'm just doing this on my own, right? I don't want anybody thinking that. Become air aware. Own your airspace. Okay. So see, they've got all the different stuff here. You can check out all the analysis, capabilities, right? You can meet the team here. I mean, this is a great website. Fact, right? Ooh, let's look at this. Will your findings be made public? Skywatcher believes in responsible transparency. While some research is conducted with private sector partners, we prioritize making key insights available through reports, briefings, and select public releases. All right. Do you have physical materials or recovered craft? Skywatcher is actively engaged in the public recovery and analysis of exotic aerospace materials. That's what I want to be there for. How great would it be if it happens and I'm there and that happens, right? I probably would have an aneurysm. I don't know, right? I'm so curious, like, how I would respond to something like that, to be honest with you, because I get asked all the time, Patrick, what evidence do you need to see to believe we're not alone on Earth? Because, again, I believe we're not alone in the universe. I'm just not entirely convinced we're not alone on this planet. I'm still not convinced, right? But what would I need to see? People ask me that. What evidence? I don't know. I don't know till I see it, right? I don't know. It's like I would need to see it to know if it would convince me or not. And that would be just a personal choice, right, at that point. All right, so aerospace material. While we do not currently claim possession of such materials, our research partnerships and field operations are strategically designed to identify, analyze, and when possible, secure physical evidence for rigorous public examination. I mean, what else do you want? Right? That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to go out there and prove this, and they're hoping by the end of the year, right, that this becomes a fact. It moves from science fiction to science fact. I'm here for it. Right? I'll give them the runway to land this plane, and let's see what happens. And again, I appreciate their openness and transparency to have people like myself come out and, witness this for themselves and experience it for themselves. So anyway, yeah, great website. I recommend go check it out. They got all kinds of stuff about capabilities, process, research, media, contact, everything, right? I highly recommend it. So it's a great website. Again, I don't know who put it together, but they did a really great job to present the information, right? So again, hope you guys enjoyed the video today. If you have any questions, I guess go to my open mic Discords and try to catch me there. Leave your comments down below and let me know what you think. All right, vetters, we'll see you in the next video. Remember, every day's a gift, y'all. Peace.